And welcome back. Some people are lucky on first dates and sparks fly, but does that mean you should knock the boots that same night? Get busy. Therapist Rachel Wright says yes, and that there are benefits to getting right to business the first night, having sex that first night. We had to ask our own expert, Dr. Angela Jones. She joins us now here on The Factor Uncensored to talk about first night? First night?
You know,
first night. What'd you think about that, Dr. Jones?
I think it is controversial because the point is there has to be two things in place in order for sex on the first night to really be beneficial, which is, of course, consent and the intent. Like, what is the intent? Do you guys have the same intention? If you're doing it because you want to connect and he's doing it because he wants to hit it and run, then you guys don't have the same intention.
But what if you hit sunshine?
If it's sunshine, I mean,
and you don't want to leave.
The thing is that sex on the first date doesn't guarantee a connection or chemistry. Now, will you get to know a little bit about the person? Absolutely. But really, the point of the point of a date is to get to know the person, to find a connection, and that's usually through conversation. Sex, you can figure out the chemistry, what's going on, what they got, what they don't have, and you can find out things as well, but it doesn't guarantee a longer relationship. It doesn't guarantee that it's not going to work either. So it's just kind of like here and there when it comes to that.
What about the old school saying, you know, with the cow and the milk and all of that?
You don't want to give the milk for free or the
exactly.
Well, look, at the end of the day, a lot of couples have sex on the first date and they last for a long time, but that is an exception and not the rule. If I had to choose one, do it or do not do it, I would say don't do it, because you really want to get to know the person. You want to feel safe with the person, and you want to know what this can be. You don't know their STD profile, you don't know anything, so you just really want to make sure you are safe.
Messing it all up.
I know, I messed it up, but it's reality. It is reality, and so you have to know that I feel safe, we have a connection, but if you do have sex on a first date, that does not mean it's bound to fail. It can be a long-lasting relationship, and so the possibilities are endless.
But what if you're looking for something long-term, and they always say, hold back a little something?
You know, if it works out and, you know, you guys are just really clicking and y'all, you know, it turns out you have sex, you guys can fall in love, have kids, have the white picket fence. It's a possibility, you know, but if you are able to determine should I or should I not, I would say, hey, just stick with the conversation first, and you have time to do that later.
Still has a white picket fence. Here's another situation. Author Hazel McBride says she's average looking, and she says her husband is like a superstar, really good looking. So what if you have that lopsided relationship where there's like the ugly duckling and the whatever?
Well, first of all, I saw this story and she is like really downplaying herself. She's pretty, and honestly, the looks is in the eye of the beholder. Me, I looked at him, he's a handsome fella, but is he like, oh my gosh, he's not my type, basically. So I think it's all
That's what she sees.
That's what she sees. And
so we need to talk to her about some self-worth and self-esteem.
Well, she says she feels very secure in her relationship, and she doesn't worry about that. But the fact that she is calling herself, you know, average and it's okay, I just feel like she's downplaying herself. He is average to a lot of people, but he's also magnificent to some. So I just feel like it's all in the eye of the beholder. And if you do feel like it's lopsided, you do have to be very secure. Like another one that I saw on TikTok was she was a lot bigger than he was, and he had a six-pack and he worked out all the time. But she was very secure.
But a lot of times those type of people attract each other.
Exactly.
Opposites attract.
And you know, at the end of the day, he may like that. That is what he wants. That's the beauty that he wants.
Bring
and that's all that really matters.
I like that.
You know, like, give me something to grab. So again, I think it's controversial because people are looking at him and they're like, and then some people are looking at her and they're like, wow, you're beautiful. So again, I think it's kind of with social media, you want to have people looking at you, a lot of likes.
And if you're struggling internally in the last 30 seconds to feel adequate in that relationship, what should you do?
You definitely need to work on yourself. Don't try to get the confirmation or affirmations from your partner to feel better about yourself. That is an internal work that you have to do, either with therapy, with whoever your deity is, whoever it is that you have to talk to, including yourself. You have to do some self-work, and don't expect the other person to do it for you.
We start talking about deities.
You know, whoever you worship.
Thank you, Dr. Angela Jones. And we want to thank you for joining joining us here on The Factor Uncensored. Follow us on social media right there at the